Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video. Today, you join me at Oldenburg Hauptbahnhof on Bahnstrecke Bremen to Oldenburg. Today we are in the Expert 101 timetable with an Expert 101, my favourite German train in the game. That's basically the only study level train in the game. And I mean genuinely, it is study level. I have heard train drivers rave about how accurate it is. Anyway, so yeah, we are doing a quick run from Oldenburg down to Bremen, and we are doing it in a rather special 101. 101066, hashtag Einziganders. So, this is not a Creators Club livery, this is an included livery. Einziganders roughly translates to like railbow, so yeah, this is like the... So yeah, look at that. Look at that. Pretty nice, eh? My new favourite livery for the 101, because it does add... It's the normal 101 red, but it just adds a little extra flair, you know what I mean? Anyway. So yeah, this is added last month as a free update by Train Sim Germany, who added a ton of other stuff, including a virtual conductor, which we will get into in a minute. Like, you can find the full patch notes over on the Dovetail forums. If I read them out, it would take about 2 years. I'm not kidding, they're that long. So yeah, we've also got a rake of intercity coaches today. The AVMMZ coaches. I do like the way Oldenburg looks. Pretty nice station. So if we go all the way down here, we do have an intercity Sturwagen cab car on the other end, which is drivable, but only from Bremen to Oldenburg, and not Oldenburg to Bremen, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's hop in. So first of all, insert, forward, and open the doors. So, put the brakes to release, and unlock. Now we go to the back. Set these to on, machine room lighting on, and we programmed a train. I don't know how long we are, so hang on, I just need to figure out. 229.8, so that rounds up to 230. So it's 918, 230, 20. That are the numbers we are putting into the computer today. Let's go into the machine room real quick. Then let's just check the circuit breaker panel. Yeah, you're supposed to be open. That one on the end is supposed to be open. Yeah, they all appear to be closed. Circuit breakers appear to be closed. So yeah, we do have only 1 minute, so we better. So yeah, let's change the contrast. Disable the fault simulation because I don't want to have that. And let's go. So yeah. Number 6 is now we've got a virtual conductor who controls the doors, and there's like this little panel here on the HUD, if you notice, which I don't really know what it means. Anyone who does know, please let me know, because I've found next to nothing on materials regarding it. So like, yeah, anyway, let's also turn on the electric train supply so we don't run out of power. I have had times where the speedo has turned off on me. Because, yeah. AFB. Let's put it up to 60.
Vorgang eingeleitet.
Right. Next stop, Delmenhorst in 30 kilometers. So let's give her full beans. Yeah, look at what that bit of the HUD is doing. I don't know what that means. Ugh. And I don't think they've updated the manual either, so safe to release. Last video I did, I was in the German Crocodile, the E94-088, and that, I tell you, that thing was an absolute pain in the rear end to drive. Like, it was nice to drive, but it's just that the inducer was annoying. Yeah. So yeah. Also, if you do want to, there are drivable services for the Vossloh G6, though it doesn't look as though it's spawned in Oldenburg Yard today. So yeah, Beans. I do love having an AFB. So yeah, here we go across the famous Oldenburg drawbridge. Look at that. Sounding the horn. Yeah. The drawbridge actually does go up at specific times for the barges. I haven't been able to figure out which times though, so hey. Just a matter of luck if it's gone up. Yeah. Also, Bremen to Oldenburg is one of 4 routes that come with an Expert 101 timetable. The other 3 routes being Nafwerker Dresden, Salzburg to Rosenheim, and the Kinzigtalbahn Frankfurt-Fulda route. So yeah. Alright, come on, buddy. This thing's pretty powerful. I do like that this Einzigarten's livery. Like this is a Pride Month special thing that Trains of Germany did. So kudos to them, really. Yeah, looks as though we will be able to go up to 160 in a minute. So yeah, what are our stops? Delmenhorst and Bremen Hauptbahnhof. Okay. Come on, buddy. Just wait. Yeah, unfortunately we won't be able to get up to our top speed of 200 kilometers an hour today. There are not many routes which allow you to do 200 kilometers an hour with the 101. With the Expert 101. I think Nafwerker Dresden limits you to 160, Salzburg to Rosenheim limits you to 140, Bremen to Oldenburg limits you to 160, the Kinzigtalbahn I think lets you do 200 on certain sections. But I think you have to have the original 101 DLC for it to layer onto things like Cologne to Aachen. You could definitely get up to 200 kilometers an hour on Cologne to Aachen. I've done it, and it appears in the revamped timetable as well. So let's give it 165 on the AFB and beans. Yeah, it does take a bit. I do love how it just takes a bit for the power to ramp up. Just gently. We just went under the A29 Autobahn. Oh yeah. Here we go. But once she gets going, she's pretty quick. Apologies for that. I've still recovering from tonsillitis and talking a lot. Tends to get the old throat on edge, so apologies. Alright. That is 159. 23 kilometers to go. Let's wait for a good shot. And just like that, we are already at line speed. Yeah. Also, one thing I should mention is, if you go in, turn the fault simulation on, you can change the chaos factor anywhere from 1 times to 100 times. So if you want to, you could do 100 times the amount of failures that normally happen, and just I've tried it before. I think it was on Kassel to Würzburg. I got like 2 kilometers out of Würzburg, and the power failed. Got a bit farther, and then the brakes failed. While I was coasting, the brakes failed. So, yeah. It was absolutely ridiculous. But also very funny. FPS is holding steady, which is a good thing. Yeah. The reason I haven't really made a video of Bremen to Oldenburg is because it's just a bit of a non-entity as routes go. I mean, it was the first standalone German route released in the Train Sim World 3 era. Okay, it was the first route to feature the BR-110 and the M-Wagens, and the M-Wagen cab car. Pretty cool. It is also to date the only route ever made for TSW that is set in the 2000s. So, according to this, 2008. So, which is also pretty cool. Like you don't get too many noughties routes around here. And then I believe that is what the 2000s decade are referred to. Yeah, but I literally only got Bremen to Oldenburg because A, it was on sale, B, I thought, oh, okay, I might give this a go, and C, the BR110 and the Endwagens layer onto the Köln to Aachen revamped timetable, which I believe is on Steam and PlayStation, but has been made compatible with Xbox or Epic yet. No, I think it is compatible with Epic. My apologies. Across the Tellerstrasse. And yeah, 16 kilometers to go, 10 minutes. So yeah, and then after I got Bremen to Oldenburg, I discovered, oh, it has an Expert 101 timetable. I didn't even realize that until after I got the route, and I probably would have refunded Bremen to Oldenburg if it had not been for the Expert 101 timetable. Because, yeah, without it, it's just a bit meh. Speed is coming back. Because, what is this station coming up? Oh, it's Huda. It's as far as you can go with the BR425? Yeah, 425 that you can take from Bremen, like on the Deutsche Bahn Regio service. Just crossed over the L868 road. Yeah, speed limit is coming down. Oh, also one thing I should point out is if you want to use this locomotive in the full, like, to its maximum potential, you have to go to the settings and turn expert mode on. It only affects this locomotive, and yeah, that basically means like the safety systems are turned on automatically, faults are turned on automatically, that kind of thing. Yeah. Alright, here we go, coming up on Huda. And it looks as though there's another train there. Looks like a BR110 with the Endwagens. If you want to get like a backdated version of the 110, that's available with Link Rheinstrecke. It's available in Deutsche Bahn Orient Red on there without any of the modded equipment. The line from Blexen joining up. Alright, we'll be back up to 160 in a minute. There's a little thing off to our right for like loading or something. Clear up to 150. We've already covered about half of the Bremen to Oldenburg line, which just shows you like how long it takes to cover this line. It's something as fast as the 101. I believe you can also take the Ice 1 from Kassel to Würzburg for a couple of runs up and down, but those are like in the early morning or late evening, and I do like the Ice 1, but it's just, yeah. And I mean, I probably will start driving it more now that Kassel to Würzburg is going to have a much more hefty timetable thanks to that gameplay pack. Thanks to the gameplay pack TSG are releasing for the route. So I do hope that, yeah, I definitely probably will be driving the Ice 1 more. I might even drive the Ice T from Frankfurt to Fulda. Passing by Buchholzberg station. Also, yeah. plus, I'm just glad that we're getting another Expert 101 timetable. And I'm glad to see the Kassel to Würzburg timetable getting some love, because it's the first German route I ever got for the game, and I know like a lot of people regard it as boring because it's just so long between stations. Despite being well over 100 miles long, it only has 3 stations with one. So with the 3 stations being Kassel, Wilhelmshöhe, Fulda, and Würzburg. But yeah, I do like it. Just because the services are so long, I just don't drive it that much. Just because, well, frankly, it gets boring. Because it's LZB all the way. All you have to do is put the AFB to max and just press the CIFA pedal occasionally, and the train literally does everything else, which is it just gets boring. I do regard the AFB as a bit of a double-edged sword, because I do think it's absolutely awesome, but also I think that to have the train manage its speed for you, but it's just if you're running with AFB, even when you're not in an LZB mode, it just gets boring. Like, I mean, properly boring. After a certain period of time, you just want to, like, especially people with ADHD, like yours truly, just want to go and do something else. Like, that's one reason I like Just Trains' Preston to Carlisle route so much, because you're doing all the you're physically driving the locomotive. You always have to keep a constant eye on your speed, and with German stuff, a lot of that is just cruise control. So yeah, anyway, that was just a little rant on my part. 3 kilometers to go, so I will start throttling back to 120. Just a bit early. We have got, what is that, 3 minutes and 10 seconds in order to do the 2.5 kilometers, but I just want to be on the safe side, since I always try to throttle back early, because if you're over speed, the PZB trips and you get an emergency brake. Alright. Hard to think that barely like a couple of months ago, well, not a couple of months ago, like 6 months ago, I didn't even know how LZB and PZB worked, and then I got the Expert 101, and then basically threw myself in with like the most complex locomotive ever made for TSW, and basically just learned it from scratch. Give it notch 4. Coming into Delmenhorst on time, 2 minutes to spare. That's pretty good timekeeping, especially since Deutsche Bahn have a reputation for being for an almost British reputation for running late and poor reliability. But yeah, it's just a pity we don't have more Swiss trains in TSW, because if anything, they're some of the most punctual rail operators in the world. Like, only the Japanese can really have a leg to stand on when it comes against the Swiss for punctuality and timekeeping. The train telling us that we do need to open the doors when we stop, which is very nice. Like, thank you to whoever in the comments who originally put that. I do, like, that's a very handy reminder to have. Like, open the doors when you stop the train it's a very handy reminder to have. And we're a minute early. Oh yeah. Give it full service on the brakes, and we'll overshoot. Of course we will. Brake. Let's unlock the doors and take the train brake off. The AFB will hold the brakes for us. So yeah, we're here for the next 3 minutes. That's pretty good. let's have a bit of a look around. I don't think I've ever looked around Delmenhorst before. I have had a bit of a poke around Bremen Hauptbahnhof, but that's about it, really. That's a collectible IC. Boink. Non-functional lift, of course. Yeah. Wonder why the intercity services stop here. Anyway, so yeah, we are the 753 IC 2035 to Leipzig, and then the next train is the IC 2136 to Oldenburg at 8:06. So we'll probably see that going along. Nice. Yeah, I don't think there are any more collectibles. So yeah, it appears. Yeah, so that's what the virtual conductor does. It appears. Yeah, the door's shut for us. I think the only other route where that happens is the suffragette line, goblin line, whatever you'd like to call it, the Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside line. Yeah, so one door open for the guard. That's pretty cool. I like that. And I believe... Oh yeah, and then also the Class 158 by Skyhook Games does that. The EMT and ScotRail versions both do that. So that's pretty cool. So how far are we away from Bremen? Oh my goodness. I don't know why that's there. That's not supposed to be there anyway, so... Yeah, my mouse wheel is about packed up, so... Hey. Okay, we're about 2/3 of the way along the route. Yeah. One thing about Bremen Hauptbahnhof is it's very good for freight spotting, because a lot of freight goes up this line here, up and down that line. Alright, 30 seconds to go. Let's shut the doors and honk the horn.
Schließvorgang eingeleitet.
So yeah, that little track leads down to Delmenhorst Sud, which I assume is like a freight branch. Ooh, let's do like an exterior shot of this thing leaving. Give it full beans. Next and final stop, Bremen Hauptbahnhof in 13 kilometers. Come on, buddy. Take a pride ride on the railroad. I don't think I've really come across a study level train in any other simulator, really, even like Train Simulator Classic. I assume, I suppose a lot of the Armstrong not really even the Armstrong Powerhouse stuff you could call study level. But mind you, that's just personal opinion. They're pretty good. Like a lot of the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement packs are second to none, and I would know because a lot of the sounds from, say, the VP185 HST, and the Class 86 and 87s have filtered over into Train Sim World. So, yeah. And I do like me a good Armstrong Powerhouse pack, even though I don't have any in TS Classic, because I don't really use TS Classic for British stuff. Apart from the Glasgow subway, I mainly use Train Simulator Classic for the more exotic routes, like for example the New Zealand Midland line by NZTS Workshops, the Taurus Mountains route by Ant Games, or all those Japanese routes by Union Workshop. Also, by the way, viewers, if you have any of the Chinese routes for Train Sim Classic, please do let me know, because they have piqued my interest. So let me, if any of you has them, I think that's grammatically correct. Please do let me know down in the comment section because I want to know if I pick them up, or if I should pick them up or not. Yeah, and we're back at 160 again. Man, this thing is smooth. But I don't think it can rival the smoothest train in a train simulator, that being the E5 Japanese bullet train from the Tohoku high-speed line, high-speed rail and main line, I think is what it's called, route for Train Sim Classic, and that is smooth. You get to 320 kilometers an hour, it just stays there, and it just wafts you along. Absolutely brilliant. That's probably a good place for a screenshot. So, ooh, I might as... I think I actually stopped it a bit too... Oh, goodness. Oh, I think I went a bit too far. No! There we go. That's probably good. Yeah. Wonder what happens if a safety system goes off while you're hitting the advance on the photo. Anyway, let's get 25% on the HUD, so let's get you like lined up nicely, and let's get some let's get some depth of field going first. That's pretty good. And then let's get some motion blur. So yeah, 50%. Anything above 50% and it looks a bit weird, I'm going to be honest. There we go. 6.8 kilometers to Bremen Hauptbahnhof. Wonder if I could spot a Vossler G6 around anywhere. I did a big purge of my mods recently, and I can tell the game is running better. Because, yeah, I only kept the mods which I thought were absolutely necessary for a good time. For a realistic experience, like for example the class 385 801 packs, the realistic branding patch for the Island Line 2022, and like the Acela sound pack as well. Yeah, I think the only one which I did was the what was it? Oh yeah, it was the West Coast Mainline South Enhancement pack, because without that the route is basically unplayable. The default timetable, put it frankly, sucks. And yeah, you need the LNWR branding patch, so the 350, so the class 350 doesn't look, to put it bluntly, naked. Yeah, but I can understand why the 350 had that issue, because apparently, but according to Dovetail, the licensing agreement was pulled at the last minute. So let's slow down to 60 here, just to be on the safe side. When I turned the trade brake on, gotta slow the throttle off. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, might as well slow down to 60 while we're here. Passing. There we go. Yeah, this route is pretty detailed, but yeah, I think you can definitely tell it's an older route because of the catenary, the way the catenary looks, and also because there's no LiDAR data that was used. Passing through Bremen Neustadt. There goes another intercity Sturwagen doing the Magdeburg to Oldenburg. Nice. Magdeburg to Oldenburg. My apologies. All right, crossing the whatever this bridge is called, the Eisenbahnbrücke. I think that's what it's called. So yeah. Pretty chunky bridge. Yeah, I could definitely tell the game is running much better without all those mods. Holy. So it looks as though we do have to slow down in a minute. Acknowledge. Okay, we do have to slow down to 50 and then 40 in a minute, but... Oh, I forgot to set the throttle back on. That's why we're at 54. Oops. Wait a minute. Is that building marked DTG Logist? Of course it is. I do like... One thing that I do like about... Another thing about Just Trains I do like is... Yeah, to go off on a complete random tangent is the... Like, funny... uncopyrighted branding they've come up with. Like, the trucks aren't, for example, the trucks aren't marked Ford, as in the Ford Motor Company. They're marked 4D with a Y at the end. So it's Ford with a Y at the end, 4D. Let's get down to 50. Yeah. Also, I did forget to mention that if you want to, there are actually a couple of manifest runs you can do with the 101 on this route, which is pretty dang cool. Like, there are only 2 routes I know of which you could do a freight run with the Expert 101 on. And those 2 routes being Tehran, Dresden to Chemnitz, and this one, Bremen to Oldenburg. So yeah, it is quite rare to see a freight run with the 101, because like the vast majority of its runs are passenger, like 99%. Right, we are getting shunted. All right, coming into Bremen. Okay, we do have quite a few trains here. We've got Bremen to Nordenham, Bremen to Oldenburg, RE1, and then an RE4. Crossing the little crossing here. Yeah. Oh, there's a Dosto cab car from one of the German electrified routes. Don't know which one it could be. It could be, frankly, any of them. Like anything from Mainz-Spessartbahn to the Kinzigtop. So yeah, here we go. Getting shunted in. Better put the AFB to 20 kilometers an hour because it'll detect a 500 hertz magnet is coming up and then restrict us to 20 kilometers an hour. Anytime you see a red signal, you should reduce your speed to 20 kilometers an hour while in 85 mode. Otherwise, it will penalize you. So yeah, here we go. Looks like we've got a 425, some and quite a bunch of N-wagons. And yeah, see what I meant about this being a hub for freight operations? There comes a 185 now. So yeah, look, 500 hertz magnet, speed reducing. Right, it's shut down the throttle. Yeah. Okay, FPS definitely dropped there. Easy does it. Want to get this stop, bang on. Like, mind you, it won't matter because... Oh no. Never mind. Shut the brakes off. Oh, and we should go into here. What? I want to find out what this automatic shutdown thing does. So after the service is complete, I'll hit the automatic shutdown button and see what happens. Okay, there we go. Oh, and it appears it's being taken over. So, yeah, I didn't even know what points we got. So, 5. E. Yeah, and there we go. So yeah, oh, okay. So the blinds come down, screens go off, all of these go off. That's pretty cool. So if you don't want to spend time shutting it down, you could just do it. You could just hit that button and it shuts everything down for you. That's pretty cool. Now, I've just ruined this AI's day. She was just about to drive off to wherever it was, Leipzig, I think. And I just hit the automatic shutdown and completely killed the locomotive. Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed my little jaunt on Bremen to Oldenburg, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.